Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit or arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Okay, taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, now I have a scroll set here from iScribe with Steph. I'll link her down in the description box if you're interested in any of these. Okay. Okay, this one right here. Come out, come out. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. All right. So I feel that this is actually going to be a message for somebody, not necessarily a reading. I am being told to give the symbols that I had when I first tried to sit down for this reading. So those symbols are a rose, and I'm seeing more an apothecary's rose with that very, almost like that magenta sort of color, hummingbird. And very specifically, I'm seeing a hummingbird that has that greenish sort of look. Irish breakfast tea. Black and silver being a theme in someone's life. Black tourmaline, a silver sugar spoon, handwritten letter. It's folded in thirds, and a symbol of the black moon Lilith. Okay. Now, if those symbols don't resonate for you, it doesn't mean that this message can't be for you. It's just that if those resonate for you, then it's specifically something to pay attention to. So the first thing that I'm seeing when I look at this, and this is just confirmation for what I was feeling when I opened up, I'm seeing this as a table, and they're not the same table, they just look the same, right? The table has a little bit of a divide, and so these are mirror images, and I'm seeing this almost as two individuals that are seated opposite each other, one in this world, one in another world, and they're sitting at this table to commune with each other. And so I'm getting a very strong message that somebody here has really asked for how to deepen their connection with their ancestors, maybe even how to work with their ancestors. And what this table is speaking to me about is the ancestral altar. And so someone's receiving their confirmation that yes, your ancestors would like to work with you. For some of you, I do have to say, one of the reasons why this may be coming up in your life now is because you've recently had somebody pass. So if that's the case, my condolences. And it feels like whoever this ancestor is that you've been feeling around you or that you want to connect to, even if you're not even sure of who your ancestors are, it's this feeling that they're showing up to the table. And now we have to do our part. We have to set a space in the 3D in order to honor them. Now, spaces aren't necessarily required, but they are touchstones, right? They're places where we can go and we can consistently give energy. And so this is why it's important. Right? You can do ancestor veneration, you can do ancestral work without having an altar, but this particular message, they seem to be advising an altar, either an altar or like a space cleared off on a bookshelf, maybe even some room or a small closet dedicated to them. And they want okay, and so then they want instructions to be given on how to offer things to them. So spirits really like offerings of incense. Leaving water each morning is a very good idea, right? Leave it in the morning, take it away at night. You can leave it overnight if you want to. Some cultures, they practice leaving food offerings once a week. For me, I do it every day, because the more energy I can give my ancestors, the more they can help me, right? And the more I can connect to them, and the more I can help them. And so this is about giving energy in order to allow them to break through into our perception, because it takes a great deal of energy for spirits to break through into our perception. I don't mean the 3D, I mean our perception. So whether that's in the dream state or that's in our meditations, maybe it is the 3D, but it takes a great deal of energy, and that's the point, is that we're offering energy. So offerings of air with the incense, offerings of water with water, offerings of fire through a candle. And they want me to focus on the candle for a second. Now there is something called, okay, I want to point something out, and the reason why is because a lot of people don't understand why so much is done with fire. Okay, let's see. So, okay, so fire is used in every single religion. Fire is used in all tribes, right? When we venerate our ancestors and we work with the spirits, we dance around the fire, we light fires, we light candles for them. This is an intrinsic part of all major sort of faiths, right? Especially if they have ancient roots to their faith. One of the things that's interesting is that ceremonial magic and in certain types of witchcraft, they've really forgotten why we use fire. And the reason why is because it's the gateway from the lowest elements into the highest element of spirit. If you look back at the works of Plato, for example, he listed it out this way. And these are, again, throwing back to the 5 states of matter. This is spirit descends into fire, which descends into air, which descends into water, which descends into earth. If you are a ceremonial magician and you happen to be into the Golden Dawn and you've never been able to figure out why the pentagrams are drawn that way, this is your key. This is your key right here. So go focus on those rituals and use this, and you'll understand if you think about it long enough. What we have here when we're getting into this is the spirit is basically asking you to create that sort of elemental gateway for them to connect with you, right? We're lighting a fire, we're lighting candle, and we're allowing that fire to be the point at which they're able to not pass through. It's almost as though the fire is joining the worlds, right? That's the image that they're giving me right now. So we light candles for fire and we leave food for earth, right? Our offering of food is the earth element. And so these things are required for spirits to get as much energy as possible. You can leave offerings of spirit in the form of prayer. We pray for our ancestors. Now, again, if you don't have a space or it's not feasible for you in your life to do an altar, there are other ways. We can just simply pray for them. We can think about them. We can carry photos of them around. The more that you can saturate your subconscious mind with giving energy and giving love to your ancestors, the more energy they receive, that makes it easier for them to contact us. Pay special attention to your dreams. It's the easiest place for them to make contact. And for someone here, this is very specifically about dreams, setting up an altar in the mind, so to speak. So these are the 2 ways that this sort of ancestral message is coming through. And again, this isn't to tell somebody something they don't know. My messages are for confirmation. And so if you've been praying about how to work with your ancestors, how to contact them better, this is the message that's coming through. I do want to focus a little bit on the astral and the dream space. Really taking that state of hypnagogia before we fall asleep, where you may see like visions, or you have like images flash before your eyes, or you just feel tingles on your body. Using that space to call to the ancestors and to give them energy is very powerful, and to ask them to come into the dream space. For some of them, they won't be able to show up until the next day. Sometimes you have to keep trying, right? All spiritual work is not like immediate results. It's not 3D work, right? Where you buy a board and put a nail in it and all of a sudden you have a structure. The spiritual world is very at the influence of other things. Sometimes it's planetary. Sometimes it's your hormones with your ability to perceive. Sometimes it is the position of the sun and what's happening with the sun. And sometimes it's the weather. And so don't do these things once or twice or 3 times and think that, oh, nothing happened, they don't work. This is energy that has to be collected, and it has to be built up. This is how the spiritual world works, right? I know a lot of people meditate and they try to meet their guides, for example, and they try a meditation once and then they move on to a next meditation and the next meditation, and it never works for them. And that's why you have to keep up with it. You have to try a certain meditation for months, because you're waiting for the right amount of energy to be built up. And there are days when that energy isn't going to be built up because of whatever's happening right now that we don't even understand. So for whoever this message is for, your ancestors are waiting for you, and they are waiting to work with you. They only want me to give the basics, which is dream work, the ancestral altar and the elements on that altar, giving the food, right? Whether you choose to do it every week or you do it like I do and you do it every day, just establishing a routine with your ancestors where you think about them and you meet with them. The more you do it, the more effective it will be, because the more energy you're giving them, right? So I'm going to leave this here. Working with the ancestors is extremely powerful. I can definitely say that once I established a very strong practice of my own, my life looked very different after that. So, they're able to support us, they're able to help us, and we're helping them by giving them energy and remembering them. So, whoever this message is for, if this resonates for you and this was confirmation for you, please leave me a comment down in the description box. And until next time.